Hello and welcome to another video about filmmaking, photography and the creative work behind. It took me some time to create a new video for you because I'm still in the post-production process of a big music video I shot 3 weeks ago. But the good side is I'm already working on a behind the scenes video about this music video where I want to talk a lot about the pre-planning, about the equipment we used, how we did all the shots, how we set up the light and all this stuff, because the special thing about this music video is that we had zero budget and it was sometimes really tough to plan this thing out, but it turned out really well, I guess, and I'm really stoked to talk about this project. So stay tuned for this behind the scenes video coming the next week when the final music video is published. But today I want to talk a little bit more about photography. Over the last weeks I used the Fujifilm X-T4 a lot for photography stuff like portrait shootings, street photography. I did some modern business portraits and all that stuff, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about this and give you guys some tips about finding locations, finding models and all that stuff. Tip number 1, locations. Finding the right location for your shooting is always kind of hard, and sometimes it ends in a creative blockade for me. And I'm not a fan of these overcrowded touristic spots where already a lot of Instagram photographers did their shootings. So I always try to find new locations. And how you can do this, let me tell you. In the current situation, it's even harder to find nice locations because you're forced to stay home or stay in your home city where you live. And you know the situation, the things you see every day, the locations you see every day aren't really interesting. They get you kind of bored and you're not getting this creative push you need to do some nice photos. So here's tip number 1 finally. Go out for a walk and keep your eyes open for so-called micro locations. I don't know if these locations are really called micro locations, but that's my kind of term for these little spots in bigger areas which seem not to be that much interesting for shootings. But to give you an example, so we have this big Congress Centrum here in the city where I live, and I'm not a big fan of this area because I see it every day and it's kind of boring for me. But we just went out for a walk and I saw this little staircase where the sun shined through during sunset and created some really nice shadows. So we used this little spot, micro location, to create some really nice photos, and in my opinion they turned out really good. So this is like called micro location, and to give you some more examples I show you some more pictures to give you some inspirations what you're looking for. Tip number 2 is finding models for your portrait shootings. I think the best way to start in the portrait business is to take your friends or your family members and just grab them and take some really nice photos with them to kind of build up a portfolio with any pictures, to get used to your camera, to get used to your system, how you get the nicest final results, and that's the best way to start. After you created some first satisfying results with your friends and family members and you feel safe with your camera and your system, you can use my tip number 2 to find models and level up your portrait shooting. Use Instagram, search for your city you're living in or any big cities around or cities you're planning to visit. You can use the hashtag with your city or the location pin search. 2 additional tips from my side to make it easier for you to find professional models in this huge amount of Instagram pictures. Keep your eyes open for photos which look like professional photographers took these photos, because then it's even easier for you to contact these people and shoot with them. Do yourself a favor and keep your eyes open also for these edgy people who maybe have a fancy style to dress themselves or have a crazy hairstyle or are covered in tattoos or something. They can really bring your photography game onto a new level. So tip number 3 is about posing. I'm not the best in telling the model how to pose and how to sit or how to stand there, how to put the arm, and if you're like me, you can use the same tools I do. I use Instagram again, go on these profiles where I know they collect photos from photographers and models, and search for the right post, check what I like and save them to my Instagram library or do a screenshot. With that inspiration, I show these pictures to my models and say, can we try this? Can we do this? And with that process, I'm also learning how to post these models, maybe which type is made for which pose and stuff like this. Okay, coming over to the fourth and last tip for this video, skip the autofocus. People, trust me. If you're into these moody shots like I am, skip the autofocus and focus by yourself. So the way I do it, I dial in the manual focus on point, and while shooting, I keep moving the manual focus back and forth. So when you have a nice background, for example, with a lot of light sources, you will get some really nice looking moody photos. Of course, it depends if you like these moody shots, but I'm a lot into these not everything is sharp AF photography. And let me tell you, that's also the special thing about Leica cameras. They create photos which are really soft, natural colors, and not everything is 100% sharp. So that's it for today's video. I'm now heading back to finish the music video to have even more time to create more YouTube videos, hopefully helpful videos for you. So if you're interested in these kind of videos and also looking forward to the behind the scenes video of a zero budget music video, maybe consider to subscribe. I'm very thankful for every new subscriber, so welcome on this channel. Hopefully see you in the next one. Bye und auf Wiedersehen.